Is your son's second birthday?
Yeah, I've got a petting zoo next weekend.
What kind of animals? Mini horse.
We've got a pig, we've got a pony. What else do we have? A couple of goats.
Are petting zoos like a big appeal in the 2-year-old community? Like, is that like a popular?
It's a lot of easy words for them to say, so I feel like they're into it big. They'll just go horse, pig. They'll be all set.
What's going on, everybody? We're back with a new episode of This Week in Notarize, and this week we have Courtney.
Yes, we do.
What's going on, Courtney?
Hey, I'm good, Ryan. So I am on marketing, and I run the events at Notarize.
Awesome. So today we're going to be talking about events.
Yes.
We're putting on a big one called Rewired.
Yeah.
Where do they go if they want to get tickets?
Notarize.com/rewired.
Yep. You should totally be there, especially if you're in the real estate industry.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to ask you kind of like what goes into deciding if you're going to do an event at your company.
Yes, the big question everyone always asks. So, events I think are just always at the forefront in people's minds for how can we engage with more customers, how can we reach more people and have those in-person meetings and interactions. So obviously events are a great way to do that. But, when it comes to asking why you're going to do an event, I think it's really asking, like, what are we trying to achieve with it? What are the objectives? How does it align with the company's mission? We're not just doing it to do it. Like, Notarize has made some serious moves in the industry. And, notarizations is a pivotal part of every kind of company model and need. But we've really noticed a lot of impact that we could have in the real estate industry, especially with e-mortgage and, using remote online notarization to make it a fully online experience. So with the real estate industry, it really made a lot of sense to kind of target it for this conference this year. And now we're backed by some of the biggest lenders in the country and financial firms. So we're going to be able to throw a kick-ass event and have all these awesome people here to be able to share their learnings, the impact they've had, their journey, their story with Notarize, as well as other partners, and have everyone come together to be able to learn from that.
Totally. The other thing that I'm really proud of is just the flow of the day. I think we were very intentional about how we designed the day to be half aspirational, like half blueprint.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Not only are you going to feel inspired, but you're going to actually, to your point, come away with, here's how companies like Guarantee Rate are thinking about some of this stuff.
Yes.
Here's how companies like Open Door are thinking about this stuff. And so when you go to build a business case to get your boss to send you, or if you're trying to come back and you're that person who's the advocate in your company to influence change, you know exactly the tools that you need to have, and you have them to go and do that. Well, I think the last thing just to talk about, and this has been the theme of this series, is advice to people who might be watching this who are in either in the startup space or they're interested in putting on their own event. Obviously, to your point that you talked about earlier and thinking about customer value first and business goals as well, what's like one takeaway or two things that like top of your mind if you're going to do an event, you're thinking about doing it, whether it's a user conference or something that's bigger and more aspirational, like what are the absolute musts before you make that decision?
I know it kind of sounds corny, but asking the why. I have to continuously come back to that. And making sure the key stakeholders in the company who would have influence on that are like giving their reasons for the why, because everyone's going to have a different opinion. And with that will shape into account like who you're targeting, and that will drive the agenda, that will drive the content, that will drive the experience. Like some of the bigger conferences that are more, social media focused, like that's for a younger target demographic. So everyone there's always different types of audiences for all of those events. And I'd also say like you really don't need to go big to make an impact. I'm a firm believer in you don't have to have the biggest booth. Like there's ways to be more targeted and make more of a bigger impact and strategic with your spend, but really just thinking about like how you want to achieve that and being smarter with kind of like the strategy you're putting in place for that.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. Feels so cool.
Yeah, there you go. And we'll see everybody next time.
At Rewired, hopefully.
Or at Rewired.
Yeah. Rewired is going to be the first conference of its kind. You're going to go there. You're going to have a good time. We're going to talk about the future of the home buying industry and all the technology needs that are surfacing that everyone needs to help their business do better, make more money, and come do it in good weather. At Rewired, join the team. It's going to be a good conference, I promise you. Come and see.